In this video, we'll be learning about the volume of triangular prisms. Before we continue, make sure you either have this sheet printed off or the digital copy pulled up. Since we're still talking about prisms, the formula for the volume doesn't change. For any type of prism, the formula is V equals capital B times H. Remember where V stands for volume, the capital B stands for the area of the base, and the H stands for the height of the prism. Now, since we're focusing on triangular prisms, the bases have to be the triangles. So to find the area of the base, or to find the area of a triangle, you use the formula base times height divided by 2. Now notice the B is lowercase because it stands for a side length, not the area. So capital B is area, the lowercase b is just the side length base of the triangle. Now for the height, since the bases have to be the triangles, it might not always be laying on the triangle. Even so, the height is the distance from base to base. So in the picture, it might not necessarily be how tall that figure looks, and we'll see that in an example below. Let's start with example 1. The first thing that's important to do is identify your base shape. Since these are triangular prisms, I know the base has to be the triangle. So I'm just going to quickly highlight that to point it out. So I'm going to start by finding the area of my base shape. Since it's a triangle, I know I do base times height divided by 2. So the base length of this triangle would be that 8.4. The height of my triangle is 2.4. So to find the area, I take 8.4 times 2.4 and divide that by 2, which is what I have to do when it's a triangle. So the area of that triangle would be 10.08. Next, I multiply that by the height of the prism, which here would be 4.1, because that's the distance from base to base. So to find the volume, I take those two answers and multiply them together. The area of my base triangle times the height of the prism, and that gives me an overall volume of 41.328 cubic meters. For example 2, it's slightly different because it's not laying on the triangle. But since it's a triangular prism, my base shape has to be the triangle no matter where that triangle is. So my base is still the triangle, which I'm highlighting right now. So to find the area of that triangle, I take its base times height and divide by 2. So the base here would be that 12 meters. The height of the triangle is 9 meters. So to find the area, I do base times height divided by 2. That gets me an area of 54. Now the height is the height of the prism from base to base. So what I need to determine is which of these values represents the distance between the triangles. And believe it or not, it's actually this 6 meters right here, because that's the distance from triangle to triangle. So the 6 would be my height. So to find the overall volume, I take that area of my base triangle and multiply it by the height of the prism. So here I get a final volume of 324 cubic meters. Notice on this example, I didn't end up using that 15 meters, and that's okay. I'm focused on the base of the triangle, the height of the triangle, and the height of the prism. So in summary, to find the volume of triangular prisms, you first find the area of the base. Now the base in a triangular prism has to be the triangle. So that means to find the area, you take its base times height and divide by 2. Next, you determine the height of the prism. This is from base to base. So remember, in your picture, it might not necessarily be what looks like the number for how tall it is. You need to think from triangle to triangle. Then in the end, you're going to take those two answers and multiply them together. The area of that base triangle times the height of the prism. Good luck.